My God, you guys eat too many sweets. Can't you think about your cholesterol?
Whose fault is it? Who got these?
But that is one.
Whose fault is this? You need sweets.
And sweet without the sweet.
But you still need sweets for you. You haven't seen this before? Documented proof. Rashad Khalifa is a liar.
I know, can you believe that? Where did they take the picture?
Yeah, I don't know.
They just took it in front of something.
The scale of the lies.
I can't believe it.
I know. Did you read the details?
Yeah, bunch of baloney.
I have the English translation. They say they went to Rashad Khalifa's mosque, investigated him,
And they found him a liar.
Established once and for all that he's a liar. And here is proof. I have a picture in front of his mosque. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. 448. Oh, I love this. Is my favorite. Let's go to 447. What the heck is such at the beginning of the surah? Well, this is my favorite part. The people of heaven visit their relatives and friends. It's true. Every one of us has some relatives and friends who will be there. We're going to go visit them.
We won't feel sad.
No. Because didn't you know oh, you missed the ways people go to hell. You wanna survey? Shakira? Mahmoud's specialty. He surveys the methods of going to hell. Go ahead. Number one.
Number one, the deck under the
Tunnel
under
the fence. That's number one. Okay, number
Well,
two.
I don't understand.
No, number one is the storming.
The storming of the gates? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
They storm the gates of hell. You know
I
what?
want to go to hell so bad.
A group of people carrying big log, and there's the gate of hell, and they're breaking into the tree, storming the gate to
These
go
are
in.
the disbelievers?
Yes.
But they got so many warnings. They
They're
want.
insisting on going. So this is number one, storming the gate. Number two is tunneling their way under the fence.
Is it in the Quran?
Number three, almost. We'll get to that later, but listen to this first. The methods. This is what we realize on the day of judgment. This is why you will not be
storming the
sad.
gate
Yes, storm
and
the
then
This is-
standing under it.
Wait. This is to answer your question. Are we going to feel sad for the people in hell?
Yeah.
This is your question. Here's the answer. We were going to find out on the day of judgment. This is how they got to hell. Some of them stormed the gates. Number two, some of them tunneled their way under the fence.
They tackled the 19 angels who guard hell and tried to beat them.
Number three, listen.
To the Paul Paul.
Paul Walters.
Okay, what?
Paul Walters.
Oh, pole vault.
And they jump up and I barely made it.
I got it.
And as soon as they fall down, there is the arm. Made it.
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala built solid walls around hell to keep
Obstacles.
people from getting in.
Yes.
And they get in by fighting their way in.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying.
The final wall is 19.
Yes. 19 walls, 19 fences.
So now tell
Number
me,
four.
pole vaulting, tunneling
Tunneling
and
and-
barging.
Next one is one big, huge one. We'll start on this wood.
Oh, seesaw in the circus.
Okay, seesawing it.
No, wait. No, it didn't. No, just wait.
Okay.
Coming up.
That's four.
You know the circus with the jump on this,
Yeah.
and they go up, way up,
Sure,
there.
sure.
Somersault. The somersault their ways. Hey, I made 3 somersaults.
The problem is who will take the big one then?
Wait, the next one, number 5. What's the number 5?
No, the big one, you see that, open the gates and let him in.
Because there are 7 gates.
Yes, number 5,
Number 5,
Now 7
will
get-
go on the cannon
the cannonball. Human
Human
cannonball.
cannonball.
and you fire and
Now where did you get all this from?
Sura 115.
Surah 115.
It's your imagination.
You didn't get it first.
No, but in the Quran it says that the people will try to come towards heaven. And then they won't be able to stand it and they'll go back. They'll keep going back, they'll try to go and come back and try to go and come back.
No,
And here they're pole vaulting into heaven.
Yes, no, we're talking, but now they're doing this. See, now they're, like for example, how do you explain the guy who we tell him Surah Qaf has 57 qafs?
Yeah.
He says no, the word فحق,
Hmm.
because there's a shadda on it, it's two qafs. It's فحق qaf. It's not 57, it's 58. There's no miracle there.
No,
How
we'll
to
just
describe
open
this
the
guy?
net
Now
and
this guy
let
is
him-
throwing a cannon.
No. God doesn't want them to go to hell. God wants them
No.
all to go to paradise.
In fact,
They
Surah
insist
39
on going.
says God does not
They
like
insist
it.
on going to hell.
There
That
you
it
go.
says.
That's the
Very
answer
good. They
to the question.
insist.
So we will not be sad because we will realize that they tried all these methods to force themselves into hell. I used the jump the fence. This is the only thing I was using because this is what I used to do.
They come up
When there was a soccer ball in my hometown,
They come up with another
and they're fighting for the final championship, and they have at the club the soccer balls, the two champion teams coming to my hometown, and they have police on horses patrolling the fence out there. I was really an expert on jumping fence. That was a high fence, like 7 feet, with the things pointing at the end like that. So I wait until two horses
I
are
used to
facing the
do
other
that
way,
too.
and then run. And I'm in the club to watch the game. Must have been 7 years old.
You know, in India they have walls with a glass on top.
Right, they have the same thing in India.
And
It
you
doesn't
know-
stop them though.
It doesn't, yeah. I used to climb over it
Yeah?
and go and steal grapes.
There you go.
And one day the guy came behind me. You know, my grandfather, he's the dean of Usmania University, my grandfather. And I used to do these terrible things. My sister and I, we jumped it and we went into the grape garden and we stole the grapes and we jumped back. The man came behind us with a stick.
You never
He
forget that?
came behind the stick. And my uncle, you know, you know the
Did you have to
Nizam,
jump
the
a fence?
Nizam of Hyderabad. He is the architect for the Nizam of Hyderabad, and they were constructing this big thing for the Nizam, my uncle. And he took us there, and this is what we are doing.
I see.
And my uncle
You couldn't
was
have
so
just the
ashamed
grapes.
of us that he just said, these people don't belong to
I don't know them. I never saw them in my life.
I don't know.
It's grape thieves.
We were little kids. I don't know these people. Who are these people? I don't know. Oh
So I used to jump the
God.
fence to get into the soccer game. And this people in hell, we will realize that they insisted. They jumped so many fences
Yeah.
to go to hell.
They insist on
but
going to
you
hell.
see, what you did, Abu Rosh, you waited till the guards weren't looking.
Right.
These guys go and attack the guards.
Yes, exactly. In fact, they said that if 19 are the guards of hell, leave them to me, some big guy.
So your imagination, he used his
Number
imagination
7.
to
Go
these
ahead.
5 things?
No, he has more.
Yes.
He has 19.
We are thinking of the ways and means that they are forcing themselves.
Yeah. Some of them can go in a tank.
tank.
How about balloons?
Yeah.
You don't have a tank
They're
that
very
day.
viable method.
They can go with that, what do you call
Hot
it?
air balloon.
No, balloons not very good, Abu Rosh. Not very good because you see, hot
Kite.
air rises.
Let's talk about the kite.
So if they get
Oh,
it
yeah, they will not
on a
go.
balloon, it will keep going up.
Yeah, but he will let go. He'll jump from it or something.
No, the
Yeah, the
balloon-
kite. Let's talk about the kite.
The kite, no, that's
The flying kite.
It's hang
Hang
glide.
gliding, yeah. Isn't it a kite also? Same name?
You know, this is an excellent subject for Mad Magazine.
Hang glide. Yeah. And they can use trampoline.
Oh, yeah.
There's a profound word coming up here that also adds to jumping the fence. Something that happened to Ismail. It gives an example of the disbelievers jumping the fence into hell. Because the second verse here uses the word zajra, which I translated here as the blamers. Some guy came to Ismail and said, what is a zajrat? You know, he leaves all the straightforward verse in the Quran and he's asking, can you tell me, if you are so clever, you and Rashad and your people, and what the zajrat is? Ismail said, goats. Okay, will this satisfy you now? Okay, now what? It's a strange word. You see, zajra means to blame.
Yeah.
Okay, zajrat, the blamers. But he picks out this strange word and says, okay, if you're so clever,
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me, what is the meaning of zajrat?
Yeah, he
Ismail
wants-
said, goats.
No, but if he knows the meaning of Zajirat, he'll be a good believer.
Yes. Now here's the meaning. Okay, now what? Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. By the arrangers in columns, and the blamers of those to be blamed. Now we're talking about angels here.
Yeah.
Because we have in another verse, in another surah, the angels say, we are the arrangers. Actually, it isn't this surah, excuse me, it's coming later. Yeah. We are the arrangers. So apparently the angels will play a role in the resurrection process and arranging all the people. And
That's going to take a long time.
who cares? We have infinity. So she's thinking in appointments, you know. How many patients today?
If they make me comfortable, that's okay.
Right.
Inshallah.
And the blamers of those to be blamed, because the angels, remember, they're going to beat up the disbelievers, they blame them. You know, we served you, God gave you so many chances, and you still disbelieved, you're unappreciative. Smack, smack. What is hitting? Smack is a kiss. Right? Smack, so hitting is good. Okay. Smack, smack, kick, kick.
But
The
these
blamers.
are blaming each other, right? And the blame of the
No. They blame the disbelievers.
Yeah,
for
they are
disbelieving.
blaming each other.
The angels blaming
Oh,
the
and
disbelievers.
Oh, okay.
The arrangers and the blamers are angels. Also the
yeah.
reciters of the messages.
Mashallah.
Angels.
That's why we have with you.
These are all.
We have you with us, I mean.
These are all angels. The arrangers, the blamers, the reciters. So God is stating these profound facts, three of them, and then God says the result. What's the result? Your God is only one. The Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything between them, and Lord of the easts. I'm having a heck of a time as my translating al-Mashariq, east. Because what clearly means is the sunrise, the Jupiter rise, the Saturn rise, the Mars rise.
I see.
These are the easts. It's not east, it's the rises. But how do you translate it to English so the people understand?
There is a technical term, Rashad. Yes.
Is that a common?
There is an astronomical term.
Okay, I'm making this known to everybody so they come up with a good word. As soon as you wake up, Lydia, think about this.
I don't know, but it's one of those words.
If you talk about the sun and the moon, yes. You talk about the sun and the moon.
More than that.
Oh, you go to the airport?
Yeah.
You go now?
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck to you. This is my sister. She's going now to take her medical exam. ECFMG.
I didn't
ECFMG.
see her yesterday.
Yeah, she was here. She's very, she hides. She's very shy.
Oh, okay.
I should have brought her to you.
Well, I'm sure she'll do a good job. She's
Inshallah.
giving her ECFMG?
Yeah.
What is it now? It's January. Yeah, they have
Yes.
it in January.
Yeah. January 20th.
Yeah, this
Tomorrow
is the day.
No, 23rd. 23rd, Tuesday? Yeah.
Mashallah. This is the month.
Yeah, your God is only one. So now, the Lord of the East, you know what it means now. Well, one time, I was in Washington, D.C., and the question of Ramadan came up. So I reached for the newspaper, the Washington Post, to show the person that the new moon, you can see the new moon in the paper, and it will tell you when the new month is. You don't need to go out and look through the clouds for the moon, which is very thin slice, impossible to see with binoculars and all this. Especially if you're blind like Ben Baz and trying to decide when the first, you know. So, well, you know what I found in the Washington Post? You can pick it up in any drugstore. They have the moon, whole solar system.
Yeah, in the paper, in Vancouver Sun.
Yeah, but I was really amazed.
Something is sent out nationally, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
Do we have it here?
Yes, we have the sun and the moon here.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So they go-
But the Washington Post and probably the New York Times, the major newspapers, I know the Washington Post does it every day. I mean, if you want to see what time Saturn rises, and the new Saturn, it's just
You have to be
detailed.
dedicated though, because
It's
I don't even know what Saturn looks like.
Which one has the rings?
That's it.
Saturn has the rings around.
Yeah, but you can't see it with the naked eye. You need the scope.
Mars is red, you can tell.
Yeah, but I'm colorblind. To me, they're all alike.
And also the time they write is different.
Yeah, cool.
Those people are so behind, you know.
But this is all according to our sun.
Yes,
Space.
yes, the Earth. Because we were sitting in a place that's half light and half dark. So we have the rises, and we're rotating. So we have the rises of all these planets.
One time we
As far as anything in the heaven is concerned, there's rise and set because of our rotation.
yeah, because there's no one else.
Why do I do a rotation like this? Actually, like this. It doesn't matter. We may be upside down. Actually, let's say we're sitting upside down right now,
But there was another time we talked
and this maid's head doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
It never
When I was
does.
little, I always wondered, I didn't understand when I was little, you know,
Yes.
we talk about the earth being round, and I always wondered how come nothing fell, and I didn't understand
Yes,
gravity. I was hard to
gravity.
find, I was very little.
No, the way to understand it is to imagine an ant walking in this globe.
Yeah.
The ant is walking around, cool, in this globe.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
goes
I
down,
understand it
and
now.
upside
but I
down.
was, no, I was a little kid.
You know,
I
and
understand.
it thanks him. So this is the way we are.
Yeah, but it's wonderful because, like, but I was little and I was just fascinated by it.
Yeah, sorry, but I interrupted you.
That's it. So one time we talked about the two east and two west.
Right. That's the sun and the moon, or
sun
the,
and the moon.
yeah, the sun and the moon.
Or the sun.
Two major things.
Two measures for human and jinn.
Right.
What's that again?
I like that one there.
Or the sunrise for the humans and the jinn.
So the same sun, isn't it?
Not the
Or is
sun.
it a different sun?
Does not have to be
Yeah,
sun.
but you see,
For us it's sun.
Hmm.
For jinns must be, might be something different.
well, the jinns on earth, they will have the sunrise and sunset.
The same as ours.
No, but God wanted to make a point that there are two sets of creatures on earth. Surah Al-Rahman, for example, is directed to the two Thaqalayn, as they're called. Thaqalayn, the humans and the jinns. So God is talking to them separately because they have separate needs. For example, a jinn will not care about a steak, but you would. And you don't care about a box of matches for dinner. But they like it maybe today. I don't know what they like for dinner. So if God describes heaven to them as fruits and rivers of milk and honey, and they don't care about these things, they say, oh, we don't want to go there. So God, who's that?
Fatiha on Tuesday, don't forget.
Fatiha.
Try it again. Oh, boy, she's just nervous about the test. She'll call us from the airport also. Don't forget, Fatiha on Tuesday.
But the Quran, I think, is directed to us, not to them.
Are you
Essentially,
kidding?
it's directed to us.
No, to us and the jinn.
But the,
قل أوحي لنا وسمع نفر من الجن
a group of jinns
قالوا
were
إنا
reading
سمعنا
the
قرآنا
Quran.
عجبا وإذ صرفنا إليك نفر من الجن. We send the jinns to you to listen to the Quran.
Yeah.
It's to them also. فلما يعني لما خلص انطلقوا إلى أهلهم منذرين. So they went to their people, their jinns also. All the jinns in the world now know about this message and the miracle of 19.
So what does it mean when it says Lord of the two easts and two wests?
Again, it's the sunrise and moonrise, sunset and moonset.
Or according to the rules.
Ismail, if you ever think of that term, this astronomical term,
Yeah,
maybe you can call the astronomy department again and see what this means. How can you express it in an English word?
There's one word that says exactly that.
Yes. We have the best astronomy department here. One of the best in the world. Hmm? Yes. Okay, since you're familiar with them by now, you keep calling them. Ask them, how can you express in one English word the rise of Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and Venus and the Moon?
Can't you say rise of the planet?
Yes, that will explain
The
it.
planet rises. Yeah? So we say sunrise, moonrise, sunset, moonset.
Yes, the rise of the planets is a good expression. We're getting there. Except it's not just the planet.
Actually,
stars.
probably, Rashad, the best way to express it is as Shakira says.
Yes, the rise of the stars and the planets.
Because this is easily
The
understood.
rise of the heavenly bodies.
Yeah, if you use the technical term,
Heavenly bodies
people
are
will
gonna know.
distract
But they
people.
won't know. Heavenly bodies will confuse them.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they come up with.
Not confusing.
May tend to be a beautiful word, very expressive.
And then people have to.
Yes, that's a good idea also. But anyway, this is what east means here in number 5. Number 6, we have adorned the lowest heaven with beautiful stars. Those billion trillion stars are in the lowest, innermost, and smallest of the 7 universes. Number 7, and guarded it from every evil devil. This is the prison cell for Satan and all his angels, the devils. Satan and his angels. It's a good expression.
Remember yesterday we were discussing
What do you mean
Ahbibhum?
Satan and his angels?
Because Satan is a temporary god here,
Right.
and the devils are his angels. They help him, they work for him.
But we shouldn't call them angels.
Well, Satan's angels. Yes, you
Then
can
we
use
should
this
say his
expression. For
fallen
example,
angels.
God calls the believers say, kafarna bishirkikum. We are kafirs of their idolatry.
Yeah.
But the word kafir is generally used for a disbeliever, a pagan. So we can use that. It's a very expressive
Yeah, it is very expressive,
term.
but it is confusing if somebody doesn't already know a lot about the Quran.
Well, but when you say Satan's angels, it's understandable.
Yeah. That's
Once you say Satan's angels, actually it paints a picture of a God with a small g and his assistant.
Hell's angels.
Motorcycle gangs. Okay, number 7, guarded from every evil devil. They cannot spy on the high society. They get shot from every side. They are doomed. They have incurred an eternal retribution. If any of them ventures to charge the outer limits, he gets struck with a fierce projectile. Ask them, are they more difficult to create or our other creations? We created them from wet mud. Of course, it is from the evolution point of view, wet mud is significant, which is water.
You know,
mud.
Reshma told me that. Because
Yes.
God keeps repeating that He created us, life came from water, and then He says He made us from
Mashallah.
clay. So I said, my God, and Reshma said, Mummy, how simple it is. He just took clay and He mixed it with water and He made you.
Yes.
She told me that. She told me that. So good.
Good
It is
thinking.
exactly like that.
Evolution is a divinely guided process. Number 12. While you are awed, they mock. How true this is.
Yeah.
We are awed by
We are
everything that
awed.
God created. And they mock and ridicule.
We are worried for our necks.
Yep. When reminded, they take no heed. When they see proof, they ridicule it.
Wow.
They say, this is obviously magic. After we die and become dust and bones, do we get resurrected? Now this is number 16. I always emphasize, because if you take the total picture of the Quran, this is not what they utter audibly. It's something in their mind, inside
Yeah.
their heart.
They keep thinking.
Even they are not aware of it.
I used to think like this too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, I'm a Muhammad, I used to be a Mohammedan.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think exactly, how am I going to be reborn?
Right. Right.
It's not,
Well, it's
but
a natural question
after
for
some time you
a growing person. And that's why God gives us 40 years to think about it, to ask these questions. 17. Yes?
Red mud, the mud is, we know when we think about mud, we know it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
How the Arabic,
Tin and
is
leather.
it using the same mud, the word mud?
It means a lot of water. Mud
You
that
can
has a lot of
try
water
it
in it.
next week.
Tin and leather.
I mean, did it use the
Okay,
same
let's take, you
word
have
mud?
clay, you're holding clay in your hand.
Right.
Okay? If you add water to it, what happens?
It becomes mud.
Hmm?
Becomes mud.
Well, it is mud already. It is mud already. Wet. If you're holding it in your hand, you add more water, what happens?
comes wet mud. He wants you to say that.
No, it comes softer. You can't even hold it in your hand. You have to put it
More
in a cup.
malleable. So you can
That is
hold
the
it more
description
easily.
here. Tin lazib here means you cannot hold it in your hand.
Oh.
You have to put it in a glass.
Oh.
Very soft.
Oh.
Wet mud. Where are we? 17? Even our ancient ancestors say, yes, you will be forced. It's not up to you. 19. All it takes is one nudge, whereupon they stand up looking. They will say, woe to us, this is the day of judgment. Oops is going to be a very popular word. To be nice about it.
What is mud?
No?
Like that.
That's a nudge.
I got it.
Don't show him Mahmoud. Because Mahmoud will show your arms like this.
Like this and not with the big end.
Ouch. 21. 21. This is the day of decision that you used to disbelieve in. Summon the transgressors and their spouses and the idols they worship beside God. Guide them to the path of hell. Don't worry about spouses. It's rarely that two spouses make it. It's very rare. It's rare to have two people in the same town make it. Let alone. Summon the transgressors and their spouses and the idols they worship beside God. Guide them to the path of hell. Stop them and ask them. 25. Why do you not help one another? What happened to you? They will be on that day totally submitted. No more temporary godhood to anybody. Finished. The test is over. Mutual blaming. 27. They will blame one another. Yes.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
They cannot on the spy on the high society means God and above the lowest universe.
Right. Beyond the first universe,
Okay, good.
where there are major decisions being made. For example, one angel is charged with sending an asteroid to hit Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Okay, and that angel is coming on the way, and they're talking with each other. The jinns
Right.
can if they have access to that area, they will hear it, and they come and do something about it.
You say like that, but then in the Quran it says the jinns are so dumb sometimes. Because
Yes.
remember when Solomon died, they couldn't even make out that he was dead for a
But
while.
when he fell down, they knew.
Then
right?
they knew he
Right.
to fall
So-
down.
Well, yeah, I mean, if obviously one angel is telling the other one he's going at the speed of a million times the speed of light, telling his friend, "Where are you going? You want to send an asteroid to Saudi Arabia?" You know, everybody will hear that. Anyone in the vicinity.
Well, no, they may be communicating
Mental,
by,
exactly.
And these guys can.
Yeah, I'm just
tap
putting
in
it on
the-
our terms. They can intercept
They can intercept
communication.
the communication.
Yes.
You tell this to the people, they think they're crazy.
Yes. They don't. They just can't. They can't comprehend.
They don't believe. Look, let me tell you something. Most people don't really believe that they're going to die.
No, they know
They
they're
act
going to
as
die.
if you're quoting the Quran.
They believe they're not
In their
going to
heart.
Yes. أيحسب أن ما له
This doesn't
أخلده.
even cross their hearts. It doesn't cross their minds that they're going to kick.
Not me. Yeah.
You can't conceive of anything. Because the evidence
Right.
It happens all around them, and they forget it very quickly. You know.
It's all somebody else.
So when you tell them they're coming back,
Forget it. I know,
No,
it
it is so
amazed
fickle.
me when we calculated the end of the world. It amazed me how many people were really upset. I never forget the Mufti of Syria. You know, it was announced in Algeria in the conference, and this guy was pounding. I'm sure he broke a few bones in his hand. He was pounding on the thing. He said, "لا تأتيكم إلا بغتة." It comes to you too suddenly.
yes,
It comes to you
sudden for
suddenly.
him, yeah.
Yes.
For him, it's going to come.
I told him that. I said, for you it
All
will.
of a sudden.
13 times in the Quran said, only for the disbelievers it will come suddenly.
Yeah.
Because he was quoting this expression in the Quran, and consistently in the Quran, only the disbelievers will come to them suddenly. Now that guy went through fits, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like
really, they don't
some
believe
kind
it.
of
Why did he
active
create us? I don't
epilepsy.
understand. Why he created us?
Why is it what?
Why did he create us in the first place? I mean, just even as souls. Why?
God?
Yeah. Why?
Are you related to Adib? No. Why? We will know why.
I mean,
don't
because
think
he
it's
turned to
relevant.
the vast, lifeless universe and said, be.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well,
Why?
I have to quote God's quote in the Quran. You don't ask him why.
I
لا
did
يسأل عما
on that
يفعل.
day,
Why
I
you
was
did
asked
that?
him.
Yeah. But
No,
for
but
the sake of knowing, yes.
The creation of the universe is for this test.
Yes, I know that. But no, she meant
No.
even initially.
Initially?
So, yes.
Well, you
This
know the
is
answer to
already
this.
too far gone.
You know the answer. The answer I always give Shakira on the day of judgment. Ask.
I
Yes.
will. Inshallah.
Well, of course, on that day we'll know. We will know anyway.
You'll know.
Everything will be
I
known.
will know.
Yes, the
Inshallah,
purpose.
I will know.
But even as far as this universe is concerned, no, he does say why. So we did not create the heavens and the earth except for a specific purpose.
Right.
And
the
also
human
not
being,
for
he
us
told
to
you why
play.
he
Purpose is stated in Surah
Repeatedly it
67.
says not to play. Not to play, but for hard work.
Yes.
He didn't create it for playing.
Right.
It's for hard work. We have to work hard. The human being has to work hard.
is that what it meant? No, I think.
No,
خلق
you, the
الإنسان في
word
كبد.
hard
خلقنا
work is
الإنسان
used.
في كبد.
Yeah, no, but I
But
think
for
she's
example,
referring to
why are you
another
awake
ayah,
now?
sister.
Ismail, why are you
Two
awake
ayahs.
now?
Huh?
Why are you awake now?
Because I'm here. Had I been elsewhere, I'd been fast asleep.
No, you still wake up for Fajr.
I think what Shakira is saying, Rashad, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't know where, the quote, but he says that he did not create this universe. He says that life on earth is nothing but fun and games, and it's not to be taken seriously.
I don't understand what you're saying.
You're not supposed to play.
I'm sure we know, we understand it exactly
In
alike.
other words,
I'm positive.
Saying the same thing.
I'm positive we
Yes, this is
understand
why-
the same thing. So don't
This is
worry.
why you are up now. Sorry,
We are
Emmett
working hard
is up
right now. We are working hard right now.
Yes.
I'm not working on anything, but
We are having a good time, mashallah.
No, but
that
if
God
you
has
didn't come
blessed you,
across,
that's why.
didn't come across this message, you will be fast asleep at this moment, right now.
Yeah,
You'll be
so
asleep.
according
Most
to
people are
God,
out
this is
there.
work. This is work.
Here comes my favorite impersonation. They all.
He says in the Quran that it is very hard for you to get up in the morning and pray. I know that it is hard for you to get up and pray in the morning, but not so for the believer.
Exactly.
He says you will get up if you are a believer. It will not be hard for you.
Exactly.
So that's why you say like that, because you are a good believer and it's not hard for you to get up. It's no
It
longer
used to
work
be.
for you. It used to be.
Yes.
But it is not,
I
mashallah.
had to beat him up.
And he
He used to
specifically
be
says
hard.
about the
But
morning
see,
prayer.
Ismail, especially
Fajr.
Ismail, because he's a night owl. He goes to bed like 2 or 3 in the morning, and in Vancouver,
Yeah.
the night is half an hour.
But you know, I'm sure it must
Smile.
be with everybody. But you know, Rashad Sahab, I'm so afraid to miss one namaz.
Yes, God
I'm
bless
so
you,
afraid.
mashallah. Yes.
I just panic.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to be up, otherwise I panic.
It gets easier and easier.
Yeah.
See, at first it's difficult, then it becomes easier.
That's
But for
true.
Ismail, you missed what I said, that the night in Vancouver is a half hour.
it's a half hour.
You pray Isha and then you shouldn't sleep. Just stick around for 20 more minutes and you pray the Fajr.
Yeah, that's what I do. Many cases.
The night
I go to bed after
summer.
In the summer.
You know, Vancouver, when, I was in Alaska in July, it never became...
It doesn't dark.
I had the picture that I brought into Rashad.
That
asking him,
picture
how
is
do you
from
do
Alaska,
creepers?
this
And
one.
they had a time-lapse photography of the sun just
Yes.
touching the horizon and going back up. But how do you get sunset, the night, and sunrise in there at that 2 seconds when it just touches?
July
It never
21st.
says
Smile, I was in
sunrise.
June
Vancouver in
21st.
July.
Beg your pardon?
I was in Vancouver in
This
July.
last July?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you should have met our people there.
But
you
in
didn't
July
know
I
it.
was not a believer.
Oh, not
wasn't
yet,
a believer
yes. Yes. Next time, be sure you give this man a song.
Yeah. We went to Alaska. We went up to the Arctic
Yes.
Pole, we went up to Denali National Park and
She's been
Fairbanks.
aflame since then.
It was so beautiful.
It is, eh?
Yeah, it was very good. Anchorage is so beautiful.
So in Ramadan, they have just barely enough time to drink. You know?
Yeah. In fact, it's impossible for me anyway. It's impossible to eat 2 meals.
Yes, I know.
Just 1 meal.
Even I eat 1 meal anyway in Ramadan.
That is going to be my
Even here.
test because I eat so little that if I don't eat 3 times a day, it's hard for me.
God will make it easy. You'll be,
Again,
you'll be
I know.
surprised.
Just like getting up for Fajr.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
The first 3 days are going to be difficult, but that's
Oh, I know.
it.
I'm totally
Viva
accepting
was
of it.
saying that she was listening to a talk show on radio,
Really,
and the
because
doctors
they're
were
skinny
talking
like me.
about
How
this
tall are
diet,
How
like
tall are you?
you start eating certain things. They come to the conclusion that after 15 or 15 hours, if your body does not get
I
any
weigh
food,
110.
it's
I'm
some
5'5".
chemical body provides like a antibiotic that cleans the whole body.
Yes,
This is the
mashallah.
new thing that they
So what does it do? It cures anybody?
What did he say?
cleans the
Cleansing the
Yeah.
body,
What did they
like a
find?
hormone. This doctor was speaking in Los Angeles. Go ahead.
Huh.
they found out after 14 hours, if you do not eat anything, body provides some
Like antibody with hormones.
that cleans the whole body.
It's like a rotor and cholesterol.
If you knew this is how good
Some,
this is for you.
The body produces the rotor to clean the veins.
Yeah.
I believe it. Ramadan will be it's getting shorter every day.
Yeah.
It's going to be March. This year, March 27.
No, Ramadan in Vancouver.
Next will be midnight.
Around Christmas time is fantastic.
Yes. The day is a half hour.
The day is a half hour.
Wow. The days will be half hour.
You know, all I used to do was I don't usually eat a big lunch anyway, but all I did was miss my coffee in the morning and my coffee in the afternoon. That was that was the extent of.
These guys laugh at me all the time when I visit Vancouver because I'm all confused about the times. So let's try Astroid. They laugh. I said, what Astroid? So we still have 4 hours left.
When I go up there in the summers, it's real strange. I normally go to bed early.
Yeah.
I tend to go to bed and then wake up and pray the night because I've already gone to bed before the night prayer came in.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have to wake up and pray the night and then go back to bed.
Yeah, I used to do this a lot in summer. I'd go to bed and then wake up for Isha. And then stay up for Fajr and then...
No, I don't do that.
It's a lot of fun anyway.
So
Lydia visits BC every year.
definitely Ramzan is starting on 27th.
Inshallah, yes.
Inshallah. But why do they make such a big deal of it, the moon and this and that? I mean, every year there's a big hassle. There's a big hassle. I mean, they never...
We can tell them Ramadan 100 years from now.
They screw up every year.
Yes.
Every year.
Every year.
They never fast.
Always, you know,
Last year it was
India
very
has
strange.
one Eid and Pakistan has another Eid. All the time. Every single they never
in
had it
Egypt,
on
no, I
the same day.
understand that, Rashad, they use astronomical means.
No, they don't. They write it down. Astronomically, Ramadan will begin on March 27th.
Yeah.
But the stupid Mufti has to tell them it's the 28th to the 26th.
Yeah.
It was never the right day.
And
I mean, he seems to go out of his way to oppose the astronomical.
And Eid will be on 25,
26.
26.
Last day is 25, April 25.
And you know, they come up with the dumbest obfuscations that it is impossible to determine when the moon appears. I said, what are you talking about? Darn Americans put a guy at
on the
a certain spot within 2 feet of the spot on the moon where he's supposed to be.
Right.
And you guys can't even see it. Jesus Christ.
Is it okay to say Jesus Christ?
No.
I say it all the time. Jeez, I say jeez all the time.
Yes. Cheese, yes, maybe. I say cheese, so it's mine.
I can't say Jesus Christ?
No. Try to avoid it. Why?
Because you grew up with it. Right?
I know, but I mean, I'm asking why you say Jesus Christ. It's a commemoration.
But usually you say it in negative
But Satan
terms.
doesn't know that. Satan will point and you say he's commemorating Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't believe Jesus is dead. Really? Jesus will take the appearances.
I like Jesus.
You should stop this one.
Yes, definitely.
God willing, it's the last time we say it.
Yeah. You see, Satan hates you know that. And he will play dumb. So Ismail Barakat is commemorating Jesus Christ. God will tell Satan, you know what he means and I know what he means. I don't care, Satan. Crybaby, he's the biggest crybaby. He is the biggest crybaby ever. And invariably God will grant him, because we give him the excuse. So God grants him his excuse. He says, okay, go pinch Ismail.
I'll say something, but then everybody has to, God has to forgive him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he was getting bored.
Who?
So God was
No, I never.
No.
It's the people in heaven. This way she said, God forgive me. Because even in heaven, the creatures will never be bored. This is two things that will never happen in heaven. Being bored and being tired.
He didn't say bored. He said, I will take away your worry, I will take away your jealousy, I will take away your tiredness. He didn't say, I'll take away your bored.
Yes, bored, yes.
Bored?
You take away being bored. You will never be bored.
It says that in
Yes,
the
Surah 14 or 15, I forget.
Okay, don't worry about
14
it.
or
So long as
15.
you tell me, I'll take care of it.
Yes, take my word for it. Mutual
It'll be
belief.
awfully boring, because you've got
Infinity.
a couple of trillion years.
I know. I keep thinking I'll do pelvics there.
Yep, anything you want.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Every day will be different.
There are no days. One day.
I know.
One last day.
There can't be any days because the days
It will be
are...
everlasting. We don't know whether it will be day or night or what.
One last day.
Will we sleep? I don't know.
It'll be fun.
Everything is
Mutual blaming 27. They will blame one another. They will say to their leaders, you used to come to us from the right side, meaning pretending to be righteous.
yeah.
From the right side. 29, they will respond, it is you who were not believers. We never had any power over you, it is you who were transgressors. We incurred our Lord's wrath, and now we have to suffer. We misled you only because we ourselves were misled. Thus, they will all suffer the retribution on that day together. This is how we require the guilty. Now, why are they in this bad position? Because of the following verses. When they were told, La ilaha illallah, there is no other God beside God, they turned arrogant. This is invariably the case. Tell them, La ilaha illallah, they beat you up. In fact, I have it on video. Did you watch this video of Bilal Phillips? I have this video of Bilal Phillips. It says now Rashad Khalifa exposed himself. He says La ilaha illallah, and that's it. Can you imagine that? He's telling the people. All he says is La ilaha illallah. Doesn't this guy think?
Yeah, but the thing is that the hadith that he accepts says if you say La ilaha illallah, you're guaranteed paradise.
Yes, this is even the Quran, even the Jews and the Christians, according to them, who say La ilaha illallah, they make it to heaven. You know the theme of this Quran at the very beginning? If you believe in God,
Surah 62, Surah
yes,
262.
Exactly. So even the Jews and the Christians obviously don't recognize Muhammad at all. Even the Jews who say La ilaha illallah, they go to heaven. And this guy, I have it here on the video. Anybody can see it. And he's saying, Rashad Khalifa has gone completely bananas now. All he says is La ilaha illallah. What is this?
When he says La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illa Muhammadan Rasulullah.
Yes.
You know, I have such a habit for it that sometimes I automatically say and then I just stick to
It took you a few months here to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Yes.
Shahada, what does Shahada means? Witness?
Yes.
Yes.
Shahada is witness. The word
Yes.
Shahada means
Did
witness.
Perry share with you her discovery?
What?
That was a very significant discovery, and when she was here the last time.
What?
She said in the Quran we witnessed God.
Oh yeah.
Surah
it's
7.
true.
Did she tell you? Yes. But we never witnessed any of the messengers.
Yeah, of
We never
course
bore
we
witness.
witness God. Because it
Yes.
says very clearly.
Yes. And that's why God states the Shahada in the Quran in 3:18
Yeah.
as La ilaha illallah. And here it is again.
Yeah.
35. Why are they in this dilemma? When they were told La ilaha illallah, they turned arrogant.
No, but in the
They
Quran.
said, shall we leave our gods for the sake of a crazy point?
Mhm.
Wow. This is what this guy said.
But in that,
Videotape.
in that
Yes.
verse, God says, remember he brought us all in front of him.
Yes.
And then, so it's very clear there
Yes.
that we saw him and he told us that.
Yes, and the word Shahada is used. Do you bear witness, I am your Lord?
Yeah.
And we said, we bear witness.
Yeah.
قالوا شهدنا. I mean, God uses the same word. Oh, you didn't hear this before. But that was a very good point that Perivesh brought up.
The word Shahada only applies to God in the Quran, yes, I was aware.
No, but it's a fact. It's the Quran. God says,
Yeah.
وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ بِبَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَى شَهِدْنَا. So this is in the Quran that every human being on earth
So God.
witnessed that God is our God.
That's the
Yeah,
But we
but
never,
that's very
but we never
clear
witnessed
also.
that Muhammad is a messenger of God, or Isa is a messenger of God, or anybody is a messenger of God.
Yeah.
So
But I
to say
understand
Ashhadu
that
anna
very
Muhammad
clearly.
Rasulullah is a lie. In fact, that's why God says when the hypocrites say Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, God says God knows you are His messenger, and God knows they are liars because they are stating a lie.
Yes.
Even though the body is witness, but the persons, the souls never witnessed that. So it's a very good point. Number 36, they said, shall we leave our gods for the sake of a crazy point? In fact, he has brought the truth and has confirmed the messengers. Most assuredly, you would suffer the most painful retribution. You only pay for what you did. Only God's servants, or absolutely devoted to Him alone will be saved. They have deserved provisions that are reserved specifically for them. All kinds of fruits. They will be honored therein in the gardens of bliss, on furnishings close to one another, enjoying cups of pure drinks, clear and delicious for the drinkers, never polluted, never exhausted. With them will be beautiful or handsome companions, protected like fragile eggs. The people of heaven, the people of heaven visit the people of hell. They will confer with one another. One will say, I used to have a friend who used to mock. Do you believe all this? After we die and turn into dust and bones, we get resurrected. It will be proclaimed, just take a look. When he looks, he will see his friend in the heart of hell. He will go to him and say, now, number 50, wow, verse 57, Surah 57 is where we see the disbelievers begging for some energy, some light from the believers in hell.
Yeah.
You know those light bugs, Ismail? Those light bugs? When the believers go to visit their friends, because the main feature of hell is darkness.
Yeah.
They will be like the light fireflies or the light bugs. And in 57, the disbelievers are begging, say, let's have some of your light. They'll be starving for energy. And we see it here again in 57. 56, he will go to him and say, by God, you almost ruined me. If it were not for my Lord's grace, I would have been with you now. 58, do you still believe that we die only the first death, then we never are requited? Let me see. 60, such is the greatest triumph. This is what every worker should work for. Is this a better destiny or the tree of bitterness? We have rendered it a test for the transgressors. It is a tree that grows in the heart of hell. Its flowers are like the devil's heads. They will eat from it until their bellies are full, then top it with a hellish drink, a couple of Bloody Marys. Then they return to hell. They followed their parents blindly. So I'm going to stop right here, and if there are no questions, 214.
Page 214.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Some of them look at you, but can you guide the blind even though they do not see? God never wrongs the people, it is the people who wrong their own souls. On the day when He summons all of them, they would feel as if they lasted in this world only 1 hour, during which they met. Losers indeed are those who disbelieved in meeting God. They are not guided. Whether we show you some of the retribution we promised them, or terminate your life before that, to us is their ultimate return. God is witnessing everything they do. 46 is a repeated verse in the Quran, and it really means that the people who advocate God alone will be ridiculed always by somebody. It's the last day of their life. That's what it means. So whether we show you some of the retribution we promised them or terminate your life before that, to us is the ultimate return. God is witnessing everything they do. To each community a messenger is sent. Once their messenger comes, they are judged equitably, without the least injustice. I may have to go back and retranslate this, make it clearer. Community, you ever think community like Eastern Hill subdivision, something like that? I think community in the Quran means like the Christians, Jesus, the Jews, Moses, the Muslims, Muhammad. This is what it really means. So it is not a community or a generation. It's a congregation. What would be the congregation? To each congregation, a messenger. People have the Baptist, Presbyterians. There are different congregations.
Each faith.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. What's Ummat in Farsi? What's the impression you get?
Group of people.
How
I
big?
mean, this is Arabic. We just use it.
But you do have the word Ummat.
Yeah.
So when you hear it in Farsi, how big a group is it? How do you apply it in Farsi?
It's just a big group.
Oh, okay. In the Quran, this is what it means. They will have to express that. I'm going to go through.
This word in Farsi is not used except, in the translation of Quran.
Oh, okay.
We use it
Not in the daily language.
No.
Like the Ummat must listen to this.
Like the
even
people,
this-
they use that.
Yeah.
Because of the word of Quran.
Yes, the Ummat is in trouble.
Yeah.
This means the whole Muslim Ummah.
Right.
Means all the Muslims in the world. 48. They challenge, when will this asteroid come to hit us if you are telling the truth? The messenger possesses no power. Say, I possess no power to even harm myself or benefit myself. It is God who will decide that. Only what God wills takes place. Each community has a predetermined lifespan. Once their interim comes to an end, they cannot delay it by 1 hour nor advance it. Say, now here, each community has a predetermined lifespan. Community here is like the Roman Empire, for example. There's a time for it to end. The Byzantine Empire. The American Empire. Like a whole nation, a country. Say, whether his retribution comes to you by night or by day, why are the guilty in such a hurry? If it does happen, will you believe then? Why should you believe then, when you already have challenged it to come? They may be like Pharaoh, when they see the asteroid coming.
Talking about Asteroid,
Huh?
article today on the paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
On the Asteroid.
Hmm?
When it hit the earth, how is it baked or cooked?
You're kidding.
I know.
And you're sitting there in the corner quiet.
I haven't seen the paper, so. Is it?
Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
So how did you know? Oh, at the
Yeah, I
work you
read
did?
it.
Oh, he glanced.
Son of a gun.
First time you?
One piece.
He's just sitting there.
Here it is. 1 hour of broiling.
Wow. 1 hour broiling. H.J. Melash
This is
believes
Arizona,
a
I think.
meteor may have hit the planet.
They're talking
Sparking,
about the past.
yes, a firestorm that destroyed most life on Earth. This is the guy who published an article. He even have pictures and illustrations.
Look what is ahead, the Arabs. Look at the map.
No, that's Europe.
Is it Europe or not?
Yeah.
Russia.
Comet or asteroid slams into Earth. Oh, I wish I can put this in there.
Sure, Islam.
Yes. Vaporized rock and debris caused by the impact shoot into space. Vaporized smoke.
Yeah.
Vaporized rock smoke. As the debris re-enters the atmosphere, each of the trillions of grains of sand will generate 1800 to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. Incoming debris, Earth surface. Hot vapor, incoming debris. Thermal radiation clouds, source H.J. Melash. Who's he? Imagine the entire sky erupting with fire. Smoke from the sky. فارتقب يوم تأتي السماء بدخان مبين.
Explosion. That's only 4 miles wide too.
Now feel the heat from such a horror. 10 times hotter than high noon on a July day in the Arizona desert. Hot enough to ignite much of the world's forests, like so much timber. Hot enough to broil steaks, dinosaur steaks. So this is UA planetary scientist H.J. Miller and his colleagues say in an article published this week in Nature. Okay, this is the one I was talking about, last week in Nature.
I'll get the Nature magazine.
Yes, timing and the picture. Yeah, I have to rewrite that article now. Thanks, Mahmoud, for working us. Thanks for your job. Great job. Stands there, no customers, what to do? The paper is here. Let me glance through and see what happened to Somalia. Is Siad Barre still alive?
Still kicking.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. 51. If it does happen, will you believe then? Why should you believe then when you already have challenged it to come? It will be said to the transgressors, test the eternal retribution. Are you not requited precisely for what you earned? They challenge you to prophesy. Is this really what will happen? Say, yes indeed, by my Lord, this is the truth, and you can never escape. I think these verses are applicable to what is for the perspective, because this is a crucial perspective. What price faith? 54. If any wicked soul possessed everything on earth, it would readily offer it as ransom. They will be ridden with remorse when they see the retribution. They will be judged equitably without the least injustice. The thing about these asteroids is that they can come in any sizes, you know. I mean, this is what he says killed the dinosaurs. So it doesn't have to be this size. I mean, they come in any size that God chooses. Everything will be measured. And the description of Surah 44 is that obviously to not end life on earth.
And also it hit separate different places on earth. The one that said that the dinosaurs hit so many areas. The whole earth became ignited.
Yeah.
It's only one area that
yeah, this will be just an area. They don't say what is he's holding in his hand.
Is that the globe?
Huh?
The globe.
I don't know if it's a globe or not.
I thought it was a globe.
Looks
I was
maybe.
thinking asteroid.
No, it looks like an odd-shaped rock.
Yeah, like the one at the planet Earth.
Yeah.
95% iron and 5% nickel.
Yeah. We need one just as big as this mosque. Hit Saudi Arabia, that will do it.
Yes. They said 4 miles can.
This is what we don't know, that I'm sure it depends to the velocity of the object and the size, that how much area is in it.
40,000 miles an hour. The speed.
40,000?
Should be the same. Velocity will be the same.
40,000 miles.
And it's coming from when the two planets hit each other. These are like sparkles.
No, they don't have to.
They don't have to? So what is it? On that movie...
If they hit each other, there will be a number of them. This is why.
Right.
Because they break into pieces and all the pieces will fall.
Okay. So this is where they're coming from. So there's two planets hit each other.
No.
What else is
The pieces of meteorites floating in space. Billions of them. So one of them will come in, and there's one now that intersects the orbit of the Earth. You know what this means? Did you hear it yesterday?
Yes.
Because the Earth's orbit around the Sun is like this. So the Earth is here, the asteroid goes and goes in the just goes in the orbit like that. and then comes back and gets the orbit and keeps doing this. So one of those times the Earth will be in that spot. You know? Doesn't have to crash again. The 5 daily prayers are so important that
are they the most
we will,
important of all the prayers?
Definitely.
So
because this is a daily.
If one individual believes in God and just did salah 5 times a day, that person will reach a very high rank than another person who does all the other 4 duties but is not praying regularly. Is that?
You can't really divide it like this. A righteous person will do all of it.
But I have a feeling he has a computer and he puts everything in and comes out into it.
Yes, that too. Every time you say Subhanallah, the computer clicks and you get credit for that. Every time we remember God. And this is exactly what 115 means. That whatever righteous work they do does not go.
Who believe, do not befriend outsiders who never cease to wish you harm and wish to see you suffer. Hatred shows through their mouths, and what their chests hide is even worse. We have clarified the revelations for you, that you may understand. 119. Here you are loving them while they do not love you, and you believe in all the scripture. When they meet you, they say, we believe. Then as soon as they leave, they bite their fingers out of rage towards you. Say, die in your rage. God is fully aware of the innermost thoughts. 120. When something good touches you, they hurt. And when something bad happens to you, they rejoice. If you steadfastly persevere and maintain righteousness, their schemes will never hurt you. God controls everything they do. I stop here because I think these 3 are related to each other under the title, Do Not Befriend Hypocrites. This is another lesson which we can relate it to that best community ever raised among the people. That God is telling us that be aware of the outsiders who never cease to wish you harm and wish to see you suffer. The only person or people who can be like that, to suffer, to wish harm and want to see other people suffer, they should be devilish. They should. There is no humanity involved, because that is the time that you have completely given up your soul to the Satan, because these are the things which are satanic, wishing other people harm and suffering. A righteous person, a person who believes in God and is living a righteous life, he or she never wants suffering or harm for anybody else. God is saying that hatred shows through their mouths, and what their chest hide is even worse. That's very interesting. People who are like this, people who enjoy seeing other people suffer, they harm themselves, they hurt themselves, they suffer more than the others, because you live your life, you believe in God, you're living a life that you think you believe is the righteous life. But those people who have nothing else to just watch you and suffer, because they suffer with the way that you walk, the way you talk, the way you eat. They just, whatever they do, they are the ones who are looking for something. They just all the time are, because they are full of so much hatred, which God says hatred shows through their mouths, and what their chest is hiding is worse. I have seen it through my own life that no matter what you do, sometimes you are even unaware of the fact that some people are watching you and are suffering because of what you do. You just do it naturally because of your beliefs, but others who are watching you, they get hurt. They just, either it's unacceptable to them or for no reason. For example, if I go and tell a friend that I go to Friday prayers, first of all, they look at me and say, hey, what is wrong with you? What are you up to? Why you go to? Because it is the tradition in the Muslim world that either you're stupid and follow God's revelation, especially among the educated, or you're after something. Other than that, there is no reason for you to go to a Friday prayer or go and spend your time reading the Quran. This is the fact. So they, as soon as they hear that, their receivers in the radars start collecting all the signals, and you wouldn't believe how many channels they have to receive. You're emitting on one channel there, but they have million channels receiving. So they are the ones who worry about it. You don't worry. You're just doing what you believe is right, and hopefully it is. And but they are the ones who are worrying. What is going on, because although they say that they don't want to follow you, they don't want to do the same thing that you do, but somehow, for some reason, they're so much interested. They want to see. They want to, why. And when you tell them, then it's like talking to a stone wall. It's for you that you may understand. Here you are loving them while they do not love you, and you believe in all the scripture. This is why you love everyone else, as God says in the verses that I referred to. A righteous person, a believer, doesn't see any distinction among anybody else and sees everyone the same. That is what we have a lot of discussion with my own kids, who are sleeping, both of them, more or less, about racial issues. How we can blame other people for being racist, how we can blame other people looking at us differently rather than looking, similar to everybody else. But the fact is, I have to go first back to my own system and see whether I see anybody else differently, whether I see a white person from a black person, an Oriental from an Iranian, and so on and so forth. If I can clean myself, if I can purify my own soul to see everyone else the same, then I won't have any problem with other people. Because if they look at me and they think that I am a different race or they are racist, I look at them and I see that they are suffering. As God is saying exactly, they are the ones who are suffering. Because they think that they want you to suffer, they'll enjoy it. But if you purify your own self and get to the point that you are a righteous person, you don't see any difference between any other people, and then you don't care about what the other people see. And that is what is expected from you. When they meet you, they say, we believe. I think most of us have that experience. Then as soon as they leave, they bite their fingers out of rage towards you. Say, die in your rage. God is fully aware of innermost thoughts. So this is, I'm not going to talk more about it, it's very clear. And 120, when something good touches you, they hurt. And when something bad happens to you, they rejoice. If you steadfastly persevere and maintain righteousness, the schemes will never hurt you. God controls everything they do. God is giving assurance to us that if we put all of our faith in Him and follow what He tells us to follow, then we have nothing to worry. We have, that's the best expression, nothing to fear, nothing to grieve. And the people who are hurt, who grieve, who are jealous, they're suffering, let be it. I have nothing to do with it. That's the life that they chose. That's the way that they are going, and this is the way that I am going. So God is assuring us that He is aware and He is controlling everything they do, and so I don't have to worry about it and think too much about it. It's a very, very good lesson that I don't mean, don't get me wrong, that you don't have to do your responsibilities, because God is exactly telling us that if you are part of that community, you always have to be aware. You have to be advocating righteousness and forbidding evil, which is part of the community work or part of your social responsibilities. But if you put too much emphasis on what other people say about you or think about you, then that's the time that you are in trouble. I stop here before starting 121 for questions and discussions again.
Verse 119, where God says that as soon as they leave, they bite their fingers out of rage. In Sura 25, verse 27, on page 362, God says, and the day will come when the transgressor will bite his hands in anguish. What I think is interesting here, is very beautiful and interesting, is that God says that He knows what is in the chest. And He says in Surah 3, verse 119, He's fully aware of the innermost thoughts. This tendency to bite one's hands in an abnormal way and bite the fingers is very common when a person is angry or enraged or they're suffering. They may appear to be otherwise, but this is something that's actually recognized as possible. One kind of indication that a person has this anxiety and anguish, and God knows it. And I see these two verses where we're talking about anger and rage, and God knows what is in the heart, and He knows what human beings do. Certain habits they develop as a function of whether or not they're in a state of peace or they are in a state of anguish or rage. So in that sense, God is aware. He knows the relationship between behavior, certain habits, the things we do, and what's happening inside of us. And we see the major thing here of the anguish, the rage, and the suffering.
I want to talk about God 18, actually the three of them. We are people who decided that God knows best, knows better than anyone else, what is good for us, what is bad for us. And we are the servants and creatures, and we decided we're going to obey what He tells us. So, and God has a very good reason for any of these commandments. Now here He's telling us, all you who believe, do not befriend outsiders, etc., etc. He says, do not befriend them. Why is God telling us this? You know, from the experience we've seen in the last 12 years in this masjid, it's because these people, the outsiders, these people may take you away. And we know what this means. Actually, they will do everything possible to stop you from being here, from continuing to worship God and follow His commandments. And this is the biggest disaster that can ever happen to anybody. And we've seen it happen, we've seen the consequences for those people. And then God is giving criteria and descriptions of these people. So, a good subtitle here will be run for your life. When you meet these people and sense that they are not totally in agreement with following God's commandments, for example, if they mock the private prayer, I'm telling you, I've seen people who were dismissed from God's grace because of not doing the private prayers. They didn't have excuses. If you have a very good excuse, but God knows between you and God that you cannot possibly make the private prayer, that's fine. But these are people who, in their mind, it is not important to do the private prayer. When God says, when the private prayer comes, go to the private prayer and drop all business. God is saying this. So, I mean, we're either believers who follow God and obey Him, or we're not. There's no in between. But God is saying, all you who believe, do not befriend outsiders who, etc., etc., all the descriptions. What is God's interest in this? Our welfare. Because if we mix with them, they will influence us. And there is that chance or that possibility that may take us away from the path of God, and this is the biggest disaster. Especially when we come this close. I mean, here we're sitting here at noon witnessing miracles. Right? Witnessing miracles greater than Moses' miracle when he threw down the staff. So after seeing all this, when we see God's commandment, God says do not befriend them. Maybe you can talk to them, but befriend is a very dangerous disobedience of God.
According to Quran, believers have the most powerful tool, and they do not avoid all discussion with people on the subject. But those people here, they don't have any base or any discussion. Those people they are pleading, they are not sincere people. They are playing on both sides, and for this reason, those people to befriend these people will not give you anything. You will not gain anything from them. They will not gain anything from you because really they are not sincere.
They will be disastrous.
Yes, only they will give you bad things.
Of course, you can try to help them, guide them, but once you've done this, you deliver the message, you try to help them, and then you find that they are not responding, and they continue their defiance of God and mocking you and so on, run for your life. It's a very important commandment. We don't take God's orders lightly. All you who believe, do not befriend outsiders who never cease to wish you harm, etc. And we take this seriously. Back to Dr. Sabahi and 121.
Abdullah, I think.
The believers are recognized, or the righteous people are recognized by the people who don't believe in the hereafter. And the reason they want, although they say they don't believe in what you're doing, deep inside they think you might be right, and they are scared. They want you to be in the same pot with them. And the only way they can see is if that you're wrong, is something bad will happen to you, and they look forward that something will happen, bad happen to you, but it never happens, or if it happens, they rejoice. If it doesn't happen, they are, outraged inside. They're inside. It's just because deep in their heart, they think you might be right and they'll be in real trouble, and they want to pull you into the same path, same trouble.
Abdullah is quoting 489. Let's look at it. 489. It's exactly what God is telling us. Very good psychological analysis. Page 92 says, they wish that you disbelieve as they have disbelieved, then you become equal. So you'll be in the same boat. It's just they feel that, I don't know, I have a feeling that they sense your soul. The size of your soul kind of bothers them.
Yes.
You have a shrunken soul, and you go there and you take over. So they want you to be in the same boat as they are. Okay, 121, the Battle of Badr.
121, the Battle of Badr. Recall that you, Muhammad, set out to assign to your people their positions for battle, and God is here omniscient. 122. Two groups of you almost failed, and God was their Lord. In God the believers shall trust. Thus God gave you victory at Badr, even though you were weak. You shall observe God to show your appreciation. You told the believers, is it not enough that your Lord supports you with 3,000 angels descending? Yes, if you steadfastly persevere and maintain righteousness, then they will then they attack you suddenly, your Lord will supply you with 5,000 angels, well trained. 126. God gives you this good news to reassure your hearts. Victory comes only from God, the Almighty, Most Wise. 127. He thus annihilates some disbelievers or neutralizes them, so they end up in failure. 128. It is not up to you. He may redeem them or punish them for their sins. 129. To God belongs everything in the heavens and everything on the earth. He forgives whomever He wills and punishes whomever He wills. God's forgiver, merciful. I stop here. 121 to 129 is, as the subtitle says, is about the Battle of Badr, which I think, or it is the first battle that Muhammad and his followers had to fight against the disbelievers. God is reminding Muhammad that when you were assigning people in the position for battle, they knew that they are going to attack them in their town, that community that they had, and there were this group of believers with a prophet, and they were ready to defend. And of course, it seems that not all of those people were at the same level of belief. There were some who were better believers, there were stronger believers, and maybe there were people who had some doubts in how far or how much God can help them. So God is reminding Muhammad that when you were assigning your people for the positions for the battle, two groups of you almost failed, and God was their Lord. Although two groups of you failed, since I don't know the exact history of the Battle of Badr, I don't know this failure is in the real battle that they went out and fought and failed, or they failed the test, because this was a test of how much you believe. Imagine that something happens outside, now we have to go and put our lives, say, okay, this is for God, and God wants us to go and fight these people who are attacking this mosque. And then that's the real test. This is one of the most precious things that you like, is your life. You have to go and risk your life in the cause of God. You know it is for God. So it seems that if people have different levels of belief, some people may doubt it, say, is this real battle? Is this really Muhammad right that this is for God? And then you question. And God is saying that two groups of you almost failed in that, because those people didn't trust or didn't believe that God can help them with His angels. And then God is saying in 123 that God gave you victory at Badr even though you were weak, outnumbered, weaker, maybe the other side had better arsenal, and God is reminding them that you shall observe God to show your appreciation. He helped you, He made you victorious over the disbelievers, and you should remember, you have to always remember God. You told the believers, is it not enough that your Lord supports you with 3,000 angels? Yes, if you steadfastly persevere and maintain righteousness, then they attack you suddenly, your Lord will supply you with 5,000 angels, well trained. This clearly shows that how a believer, as Rashad just very, I think, beautifully put it, if you're a believer, you have so much strength. You have something about you that even at the everyday life causes that strength. It shows in your system. You walk, you talk with more strength, with self-confidence, because as was mentioned in today's khutbah, since you believe in God, you believe in someone who is the superior force, who is the creator of the whole universe. So you see everybody else the same. You don't worry about your boss. You don't worry about anything. Your soul has grown so big, hopefully, that if you go in the room with some disbelievers, then there is enough room. They just get pushed, they get squished. So, and that's the time that God comes to your help. You go in a community, and you see that. This reminds me of a story that I was told. I don't know whether I told you this or not. Tariq is here. I was talking to his parents because they are Muslims. And they were saying that the first time they were exposed to Islam through Elijah Muhammad in Brooklyn, New York, before that they were just normal people. They were always thought that they are inferior to other people and so on and so forth. But when they went through and they were introduced into what was told to them, that this is Islam, whatever it was, that there is a God, Allah, you have to follow Him, you believe in Him, and if you follow that, you do your prayers, then you are strong. And they were saying that after they got that close to the real thing, which is believing in God, which then, as we know the history of the Black Muslim movement in this country, which I'm sure Douglas is a better position to tell us about it. But the thing that was interesting to me was the strength that they said they felt with this. They said that all of a sudden they felt that God is giving them so much strength that they would go to places that they never imagined that they could go. They would go to places which were drug dealers with shotguns, and they were saying that they would go to these places, and all of these nastiest people in the world that live in that area were afraid of them. Even they had shotguns, even they had knives, even and that shows, this is an example, but God is telling us exactly that if you believe in Him, He's going to support you. The angels, the numbers that are given here, which in the footnote, you can see that the numbers that occur in the Quran are multiple of 19. God is giving these numbers and telling us that in everyday life and also in the real battles that has happened in the past and may happen in other forms. It doesn't have to be battles that you fight with bombs and guns and so on. Everyday battle with believers, which nowadays is mostly through communications, then God is going to help you to be winners. 126, God gives you this good news to reassure your hearts. Victory comes only from God, the Almighty Most Wise. This is the reassurance that God given us, the good news. It does annihilate some disbelievers or neutralizes them so they end up in failure. It is not up to you, 126, He may redeem them or punish them for their sins. After you have done your work, you have done your job, it is not up to you. I don't know why always when I teach one of these verses come up, that it's not up to you. It's He may redeem them or punish them for their sins. So you have to do your homework, you have to do your job. The rest of it is up to God to decide what He wants to do with the disbeliever. To God belongs everything in the heavens and everything on the earth. He forgives whomever He wills and punishes whomever He wills. God is forgiver, merciful. I stop for discussion and questions here.
Well, I have lots to say here. Any questions before I say that? Okay, first of all, I urge you or encourage you to go to any public library and look up the Encyclopedia Britannica under BADR, B-A-D-R. And in the Encyclopedia Britannica, they give you the numbers of equipment on both sides, the disbelievers and the believers. And you can see, according to those numbers from history, that the disbelievers vastly outnumber the believers. There are at least 10 times as much in every category. I mean, 70 camels against 7, things like that. Actually, more than that. Look it up in the Encyclopedia Britannica. And then you look at the outcome of this battle, and they say that militarily it doesn't make sense. The outcome doesn't make sense. Of course, they couldn't count the invisible forces, the 3,000. Though, you don't see the 3,000 angels on the side of the believers. And so this will be quite.
In that, how do they describe each side? Do they describe it as believers and
Yes,
disbelievers?
this is Muhammad's side and the pagan side. It's quite fair. What I read, that was many years ago when I read it.
They may have
And I'm
changed
sure
it
it's
by
still
now.
there. So let's go and look for it in any public library. Check the Britannica under bed, and you'll see this.
It's in the history of Islam also, life of the Prophet Muhammad.
But see, Britannica is a neutral. I pretend to be neutral. But the history of Islam, you will say they're biased. But Britannica, it's a public library. Everybody reads it. It's written by the most outstanding authorities on the subject, according to them. The other thing I want to say is, you notice this is specifically the time of the Prophet Muhammad. That was, I maintained that the time of jihad was then, that now the battle is completely mental. However, I want to share with you a few instances where there may be the simulation of jihad or something. For example, my first visit to Canada, I don't know if you still have the scar there. But there were so many threats against my life before I went, and Satan participated heavily in that, to the point that I left to Canada knowing that I will die there. This is the impression that there were very strange things happening. For example, the day before I left, I'm sitting peacefully watching the TV at home, and all of a sudden my wife says, "Do you have insurance in your life?"